Recording. You have started.
So, good morning everyone, and welcome to the first ever annual general meeting of the Moose Jaw Gamers Inc. We're not the Moose Jaw Gamers Association for the purposes of this meeting. We are a non-profit organization, a non-profit corporation, and you are all members. Thank you very much for attending, and it's exciting to be here. Yeah, a round of applause. So I am officially calling this meeting to order at 10:09 a.m. and we need to establish quorum. We need at least 50% plus one of our Class A members, and I do believe we have 100% of our Class A members here. So we have quorum. That's great. Good job.
Roll call, just so everyone knows who's here.
Yes, so roll call if you'd like to go
My
through that.
name is Kurt Hebron. I am the treasurer, that's you. I'm the secretary for the Moose Jaw Gamers Inc.
Inc.
I'm Roberta Hebron. I'm the treasurer for the Moose Jaw Gamers Inc.
I'm Jess Halsworth, I'm currently the standing president.
I'm Christian Schoberg. I'm the PR coordinator.
I'm Talon Regent, the vice president and host / chairperson this morning.
Ryan Erickson, I am the sponsorship relations.
Eric LaFrance, I'm the RPG committee chair.
Fantastic. And so then we have to approve the agenda. So I would open it up for somebody to motion to approve it, or if anybody wants to amend it. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I will motion to approve the agenda.
And a seconder?
I will second it.
Seconded. And depending on the rules that an AGM uses, sometimes we also make a general vote to accept, and sometimes the motion and second is good enough. We're going to play this as safe as possible to make sure that nobody's disagreeing at all in the future. So all in favor of the motion that's now been seconded?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. And we don't need an approval of the previous AGM's minutes because we haven't had a previous AGM. So skipping right along, I'm going to open it up to the reports of the executive, starting with Jess Halsworth and the president's report.
Thank you, Tal. So, as Talon said, I'm Jess Halsworth. I am the president of the Moose Jaw Gamers Inc. I'd just like to start off and say a few words here, and then we'll go right into my report. We're going to begin with our mission statement. Our mission is to provide a safe and entertaining environment where people of all types can come together and enjoy the pastime of various forms of entertainment collectively known as gaming. I believe we have fulfilled that in our past and endeavors. This year especially, we've done a lot of work. It is great. So, as gamers ourselves, we strive to create a fun and welcoming environment for everybody, whether it's a simple board game, card game, or a far-reaching multi-month role-playing campaign. Part of enjoying games is to experience things we haven't or aren't able to in real life. You can't have that feeling of wonder or boost of excitement if you're under the power of prejudice, bias, or hostility. I believe we've attained the goal, as I said, and we'll continue to strive towards this in the future. Over the past year, we have completed the process of incorporation. As Talon said, we are the Moose Jaw Gamers Inc. Fully recognized under provincial and Canadian law. While we were unsuccessful in our application to have charitable status, we are going to continue to fundraise for charities whose purpose is to relieve children's poverty and promote children's health and education as stated in our Articles of Incorporation. Gamer Expo, which we're currently at, the Winter 2020 Gamer Expo right now, has grown significantly in the past year. It started off as a small group of friends who played LAN games in the basement. Now we have a medley of people, games, activities, tons of stuff that you can come and see. It's in our solemn hope that we can continue to grow and provide an amazing event to people to continue to look forward each year. Part of that, our organization is run by volunteers. People who dedicate and donate their time, and in many cases, their own money, to ensure that Moose Jaw Gamers are successful in their endeavors. In 2018, we had over 1,500 volunteer hours. We couldn't run without them. I'd like to give my heartfelt thanks to those who have gone above and beyond in the past year, and I'd like to name a few specific people. Kurt, Berta, you guys have just been like total solid. Every time something's needed to be done, you've stepped forward. Every time something sort of looked like it's faltering, you've held it up, and we all appreciate the time and the money that you guys have put into that. Ryan, your work for sponsorship has been absolutely astounding. I don't think I can find a dissenting voice in here when I say we would be absolutely devastated if you were not to continue what you're doing.
It is
Many
a staggering
times.
achievement.
Christian has been doing media. I'm sure if you've been watching any kind of TV news or if you've been listening to the radio, you've heard or seen him. We've got our names out there. It's not so much anymore if I've never heard you before. It's like, oh yeah, I've heard of you guys, and that's what we really want to see. Our brand is really being pushed. That's another one that's just been amazing. So. Of course, I'm not going to leave out the last two of our executive and our Group A members, our voting members. Eric, you've helped coordinate the Adventure League, which has been really helpful. Thank you very much. That program has really gone well. I'm going to go into that. And Talon, you've made sure that we've stayed on the straight and narrow. We've not come into conflict with any of our own or other people's requirements. So I really appreciate that. Moving into the next year, we'll be continuing the wildly successful Adventure League partnership with the Moose Jaw Public Library. It's a great feeling to see the rooms in the library packed with people having a good time, socializing, playing games together. We're actually getting to the point where we are at maximum capacity every time, which is wildly amazing. That's something that we never hoped to achieve, but we did, and it's a good problem to have. We have several other new undertakings that we're working on behind the scenes. We hope to unveil these in the coming months, but we're in the process of making sure that our planning, our research, budgeting, so that we can make sure we can afford to do it while not impinging on our charitable activities that are up to our high level standards. So in closing, we're adventurers. We become the bold. We are the heroes and sometimes villains. We're part of tragedies and victories. We're courageous, we're limitless, we are what we choose, we are gamers. All the best in 2020, and thank you very much.
And we, of course, would be remiss as an organization if we didn't thank our president for his hard work. He's the bedrock of the organization. He's helped to inspire the vision of where we've come from and where we're headed to. And frankly, he's just set a fantastic tone for this group. So,
Hear, hear.
thank you. And now we're going to hear from Roberta, our treasurer, and the woman behind the scenes that makes sure that we're not going bankrupt.
Hooray!
Money's good.
At least I hope we're not going bankrupt.
We are not going bankrupt. I'm very happy to report that if you refer to our AGM package, you'll see that the numbers are very good. As some highlights, our net income from summer GACs, which was a record-breaking year for attendance, was $2,472.15. For winter GACs, our estimated net income was $26,83.44. Sidewalk days was more of a expense, and its net income was negative $160. Our library D&D, which is more of a community outreach, is also an expense, and that cost us $113 plus change, and that's more of an outreach for us, and we're very happy to bring that to the community as a service, and we feel that it's a good investment. All of our events net income worked out to $4,881.82. Our total operating expenses for the year were $1,566.63. Our total other income, which was gauntlet raffle and donated services, was $400, and our yearly net income is projected to be this year $3,715.19.
And for some context for our viewers, as a nonprofit organization, the Moose Jaw Gamers Inc., we don't carry on a profit. We don't carry over from one year to the next and pay ourselves dividends. In fact, even though we are entitled to pay ourselves as employees of the corporation, we don't do that. The purpose of our organization is to bring gaming joy to people around us, and with the excess funds, we're not putting it in our pockets. We donate that to other organizations, charities around Moose Jaw, around Saskatchewan, and that's what being a nonprofit is about. With all the money that we're bringing in, what we carry over is quite minimal in order to make sure that we can continue operations from one year to the next, but everything else is going to help our community. So moving right along, we're headed into the communications report by Christian Schoberg.
As said, and thank you everyone, we had a tremendous year so far, with many media outlets picking up our stories and helping us become bigger and better. We are starting to make a list moving forward of all the media interviews and highlights. We have that recorded within our database. We are here are our achievements for this past year. We have had both CTV and Global do morning show highlights on us, where they've come out to us in some cases, and just like this Gaming Expo here, the morning show reaches out to us every 20 to 30 minutes and says, hey, so-and-so's at the Gaming Expo, and we're going to go out to them. Those are fantastic for same day, kind of short notice. We've also had our Max TV on Demand from SaskTel come out and do event videos of the entire thing, typically a 5 to 8 minute video, where they have actually given us copies of those, so those can be viewed on our YouTube channel, so please like and subscribe. And many other social media things. Golden West Radio has been a large part of our local communication, maybe not to our target demographic, but at least to their parents and grandparents, so they can pass that message along to some of the people who are in our target demographic, like those who are watching this now. They have had multitudes of community announcements that they do for free. They have also done Heartland at noon with Rob Carney. As well, news stories have been put on both Discover Moose Jaw and all 3 radio stations. So we'd really like to thank our local Golden West Radio for giving us that opportunity and really being a part of helping us promote that. So thank you to Golden West. We did a booth at the foyer at Sidewalk Days this year. For promotions, 2020 Summer GACs, and it resulted in the most successful GACs to date. And moving forward, we're hoping to do that again, I think, in 2020. Our social media has been a steep learning curve for all of us. We've posted many videos and pictures and other links to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and our own website. We have reached and at least, so on Facebook it tracks how many people have scanned past something. And with our posts for the last year and some, we have had 120,976 times that someone has scrolled past our logo, our picture, and seen us. Of that, it has resulted in over 8,127 clicks. So someone has clicked on that to get more information. And the subsequent of those links of them clicking on it, we have had comments of 3,361 comments or likes. So that means they've actually paid attention to that ad, which is fantastic. We've spent some money on boosting some of those posts. We have found that the short-term ones, 1 to 2 days boosts, are more effective than, say, $20 over 2 weeks. So just kind of a heads up, if something happens to me, those are the things that I seem to be working for us. Is short-term posts for value to get the most posts. Moving forward into 2020, we hope to grow larger, and we need to schedule media due to the overwhelming demand for interviews and interest from the community. Our toughest challenge is reaching our target demographic, as I've said, of the recluse nerds and geeks like ourselves, many of whom have cut social media ties, but we will steam forward with social media posts, radio, TV promotions, and website updates, in hopes that someone they may know may be watching, and relay the exciting events that we are continuing to do. So,
And so we've got one more report. Eric LaFrance, did you want to voice a report or submit it in writing? Okay, fantastic. Come on up. Oh, sorry. Prior to bringing Eric up, we're going to have our sponsorship report from Ryan Erickson.
So hello everybody. As he says, I'm Ryan Erickson, Sponsor Relations. So just before the Summer GACs of 2019, I became the Sponsor Relations Executive. I took on a task of performing and trying to get more sponsorship, because without sponsorship, this can't continue to grow. So at Summer GACs 2019, we had 9 sponsors and many other companies that donated prizes, raffle prizes, and we gave discounts for different various things. At Summer GACs, after Summer GACs, we decided to take a different approach to the sponsorship and divide up our event into many different sections. So this allowed us to continue to keep our current sponsors and attract new sponsors. So sponsors now get their names on all the rooms and are able to advertise their businesses more in those rooms and help us make those rooms as great as we possibly can for the people that attend. So Winter GACs 2020, we now have 14 sponsors. Some of those sponsors provide monetary value, some provide materials or equipment to help out in their respective areas. Most do both. And all of our sponsors add great value to our event. We still have many other companies that donate door prizes, raffle prizes, materials, such as the sandwich board signs that we see out here, and give discounts to us and our attendees. So the sponsorship goal for 2020 is to continue building on the relationships we currently have with our sponsors and to add new ones to fill in some of the areas that are missing. So the main sponsorship areas that I would like to work on, or we would like to work on as a group, would be one for volunteers. So because without our volunteers, our event wouldn't be possible or able to grow, we would like to see some extra incentives given to people for helping us out and keeping our volunteers happy to keep them coming back and helping us out. The other one is advertisement. So we'd like to see our events continue to grow and want to get our brand out as much as we can to different cities. Christian does a great job doing that for us, but our funds are tighter on it. If we had the monetary value, we could do a little bit more of that and get the word out there more. So the sponsors we have are all posted in the AGM. So that's all I really have for now.
I just want to add to that, to mention where we've come from in just how substantial our sponsorships have grown and just how substantial your work is. With some of the organizations that I've worked with, I've done the door knocking, I've tried to gather funds and fundraise and get sponsorships, and it's tough to go around to ask people for money. And that is a skill that you have clearly developed well, because you have grown our sponsorships in a huge way, and they help to make this possible. So thank you to you for that. And I also wanted to add to Christian's communication report that yesterday, or rather on Friday when we were getting started, I was at a dentist appointment, and I just casually mentioned, oh yeah, it's my day off. We're already there at the cultural center. We're already set up and on CTV. And the dental hygienist said, oh, I know, we've all been watching you, and we saw you just a few minutes ago on your last live segment. And so then we got chit-chatting. About 10 minutes later, the dentist walked in and he was like, hey, Talon, I saw you guys are down at the May Wilson. And he was so excited. And they were talking about bringing their kids. So we, as an organization, have a buzz within this community. And so both on the sponsorship side and on the communication side, that's a major part of it. So thank you guys. And now we have the D&D board report from Eric LaFrance.
Thanks, Tom. As mentioned, I'm Eric LaFrance, RPG Committee Chair. And Moose Jaw Gamers Incorporated RPG Committee was formed in late spring of 2019 with the help of Keith Byers, Andrew DeBold, Barry Raymond, Janice Lamb, and myself. The RPG committee was formed in order to offer role-playing games, or the role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons, as an organized event for players at GACS. At our first meeting, it was obvious that D&D Adventures League was the gaming system most aptly suited for our intended purpose. Moose Jaw Gamers D&D Adventures League ran its first session at Summer GACS in 2019 as a trial run. Each of the 4 sessions offered had between 4 to 7 players, which was considered a reasonable success. In summer 2019, Janice Lamb invited Moose Jaw Gamers to help her establish a bi-monthly D&D event in conjunction with the Moose Jaw Public Library. The RPG committee agreed it would be a great opportunity to continue offering D&D Adventures League to members of the community and as a catalyst to invite more players to GACS. The RPG committee also saw 3 new members join us in the summer of 2019. Kurt Hebron, Roberta Hebron, and Jess Halsworth, while members Barry Raymond and Keith Byers have moved on. The Moose Jaw Gamers D&D Adventure League library event has been a great success. Although the number of players varies from session to session, we began with an average attendance of 10 to 12 players. Attendance has been steadily increasing and has more than doubled since September, with our largest session of 25 players on January 25th, 2020. Moose Jaw Gamers Inc. has been offering D&D Adventure League in partnership with Moose Jaw Public Library on the 2nd and 4th Saturday of each month from September 14th, 2019 to present, and will continue to work with the library in 2020 as well as at winter and summer GACS 2020.
I'd just like to sort of interject, sorry, Colin. Again, that one is all our volunteer work. People who have stepped forward, Kurt, Berta, Andrew, who's not in attendance, Bryn, all these people who have come and they've just offered so much support and help to make sure that that has been successful.
Here, here. Here. And for our viewers, the level of analysis that's gone into the D&D, the level of passion that everybody speaking today is bringing, it might be a little bit intimidating. You might think to yourself, well, I'm kind of interested, but I'm not sure if I could get into this level of organization. I want to emphasize that everybody is welcome, absolutely everybody. And while I have a great deal of passion for video gaming, I am creating my first Dungeons & Dragons character this morning, and everybody who's been playing it for years and knows the rule books inside and out, the rule books are like this thick. They know them inside and out, but they are happy and patient to sit down with me and explain to me the difference between an elf and a gnome. And if you're just curious about getting into it, absolutely come on down, because everybody here is so incredibly friendly and open to teaching you about the joys of gaming. Now, it's time. Oh, thank you. So we have one special resolution that was put on the agenda for this morning, and we don't need a great deal of preamble. Some organizations, they'll have 5 pages of whereas this and whereas that, be it resolved such and such. We're a little bit more streamlined than that. We like to focus on gaming. So the resolution reads, be it resolved that the fiscal year currently running from February 1st, 2020 to February 1st, 2021 be amended to run from February 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020. And that would bring our fiscal year in line with the calendar year. So that resolution is already on the table. Can I get a motion for the resolution to be discussed? And we've got Christian Schoberg that makes the motion. Can I get a seconder?
I will second.
Just seconds. Too slow, Erickson. Fine. And so is there any discussion about the resolution that's on the table? Hearing none. Going once, going twice. All right, hearing none, I will now ask all in favor of the resolution.
Aye.
Unanimous. That is carried. And so now we get to the exciting point, the board nominations and elections. And so, our rules. So was there something you wanted to jump in with?
The financial report needs to be accepted, and we have to talk about the auditor.
Yes. So let's jump in with that before our nominations and elections. For the financial report, Roberta, would you like to motion that financial report, or
Sure.
would you like to elaborate on it from the treasurer's report?
Certainly. So I will.
Yeah, feel free to come on up.
Yeah. Let's do that in front of camera. I move that we accept the financial report as submitted, and that we, instead of audit or review, which would probably be inappropriate for the amount of money that we take in, that we go with a financial report and a tax return as standard with our accountant at Cloud Accounting.
So that would just entail just a review of what we've got.
Correct.
Basically, not
Yes.
an in-depth analysis though.
No, it is a
Making sure-
financial statement that she will do our income and expenses as part of the tax return that she'll do for us.
I second that motion.
And do I call for the vote?
Yeah, we'll open it up for discussion.
Okay.
And any questions?
I think I'm perfectly happy with that. We've sort of touched on other meetings, but for the purpose of the AGM, so everyone knows, we're going to revisit that once our finances are higher, more. Right now,
Yes.
we're at a lower level. It doesn't seem like it to some people, but our small company is just starting.
Yes.
So.
And the reason for that is the cost of a full audit is
It's much more, significantly more than what we actually have in net income. So there would be, it
No
would probably be
donation.
inappropriate. Yeah, it would take all of our money to do a full audit.
Okay, just so people know.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to the vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
I don't know if I vote on it.
Unanimous.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Fantastic. And so anything else before we move into the nominations and elections? All right, jumping in then. So for our organization, the directors can only be made up of Class A members, and we have all the Class A members here today. So with our Class A members, I believe we are all directors as it currently stands, except Eric. And Eric, do you have any interest in that?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Well, we'll leave it alone for now, and after the election, by special resolution at a later meeting, we can also incorporate you in if you're ever interested. So keep it in mind, give
Okay.
it some consideration.
Sure.
But for now, we do have some established roles, and those roles include president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, communications, and sponsorship. And so we'll work in reverse order from that. I don't think we're going to have too many surprises at this particular election, but as our organization grows, sometimes people will really be contesting for the presidency, and we would change it up at that point to go for president first. Yeah,
Fight with lightsabers for that.
you can certainly go to amend our bylaws at the next AGM for a battle royale.
But I think it contradicts our harassment.
Exceptions. It's all about the exceptions to the policies.
But much more fun if you're vote.
Full contact voting.
And so to get us started, I would like to hear a nomination for our sponsorship director.
I nominate Ryan Erickson.
Ryan Erickson has been nominated. Ryan Erickson, do you accept the nomination?
I'll accept.
All right, can I get another nomination? Or are there any other nominations for sponsorship director? Going once, going twice. Mr. Erickson, do you accept the acclamation to sponsorship director?
I do.
Thank you very much. Welcome aboard again. Moving right along to communications. Can I get a nomination for our communications director?
I nominate Christian Schober.
Christian, do you accept?
Okay.
A little bit of hesitation there, so I suppose we'll let you go.
Okay.
Alright, are there any other nominations for communications? Going once, going twice. Do you accept the acclamation, Mr. Schoberg?
I do.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
I need when I say I do, I mean. Sorry, Sarah.
Yeah, my wife will be very angry. Or very happy, I'm not sure. And so for secretary, can I get a nomination for our secretary?
I nominate Kurt Hebron as secretary.
Kurt Hebron, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
And are there any other nominations? Going once, going twice. Mr. Hebron, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Thank you very much. I
He
must
has to accept the acclamation.
You
What
said
is
there's a nomination.
acclamation. You accept the acclamation?
Well, I don't know. I don't even understand that word.
Do you
Yes.
want to be the secretary? Fantastic. And now Kurt hasn't got up in front of the camera, but he is the man behind the screen. He is the one that does up our agendas, our meeting minutes. He keeps us on task. I oftentimes get distracted with various conversations in the room. Yeah, and somebody's playing
Back
a
on
hunting
point.
game over there. Oh, sorry. So a big round of applause for Kurt for his role as secretary.
Our man in the chair.
You should maybe change his position to the whip.
Or the Trump press secretary.
And so moving up to vice president. Can I get a call for a nomination for vice president?
I nominate Talon Region.
And I do accept the nomination. Now, if we were a larger organization and we had a whole bunch of different people involved, technically, I would have to sit down and somebody else would have to do it. So here we go.
Alan, do you accept the nomination for vice president?
I do accept the nomination.
Okay. Hearing that, is there anyone else would like to put their nomination forward? Going once, going twice, going
Sold.
3 times, going 4 times. Anyone, please. Talon, do you accept the acclamation of vice president?
I do.
Okay.
And did I skip over treasurer?
Yes.
I did. All right.
She's more important than you anyways.
And
Yeah,
we already
and-
know where this is going.
No, we don't. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
Eric's
sorry.
over there going like, no way.
I would like to nominate Roberta Hebron for the position of treasurer.
Would you accept the nomination?
I will.
Fantastic. Can I get any other calls for nominations for treasurer? Going once, twice, thrice. Roberta, do you accept the nomination? Do you accept the acclamation?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, we've got our president to decide upon. And so can I get a call for nominations for the president?
I'd like to nominate Jess Hallsworth.
I thought we were going to make him sweat.
I thought we were gonna like sit here.
We all looked around first.
We'll put a pause in the video.
Everyone freezes.
And so, Mr. Hallsworth, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
And are there any other nominations for president? Going once, twice, 3 times? Do you accept the acclamation for president?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And just as a group, I want to thank you guys all again. It's been fantastic. It's been a pleasure being a part of this organization. I am a part of several boards, and this is by far the one that I actually enjoy going to meet with for our monthly
Don't tell
meetings.
the other ones.
Yeah, honestly, the other ones, they're so dull. They're never watching this video. Please don't share it with them. And with that, we have it on the agenda to have calls for membership from the public and to answer any questions or respond to any comments from the public. Now, the camera can't see it, but we've got like 600 people behind us here. It's going to be very disorganized, so we're probably just going to cut the video before we go and do that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Everyone stand still.
And so with that, unless there are any final concluding comments from the people in the room.
I just have a few words to say.
Absolutely.
Once again, I would like to thank everybody who has participated, donated their time, their effort, money, all of our sponsors, everything that people have done to make Moose Jaw Gamers what it is today. Every time we have a meeting, I get excited because I know we're going to sit down, a bunch of people that work really well together, people who are enthusiastic about what we're doing. They're also excited. Like Talon said, it's enjoyable. We go to these meetings, they're not just a cold, dull meeting. They're friends, people that work together well, sitting, talking, laughing, coming up with great brainstorming ideas. Sometimes they're way out there. It's like, oh, wouldn't that be awesome if we could do that? Yeah, it would, but we don't have the people or the money to do it right now. Right now. Those are the two words that are driving us forward. We can't do it right now. And that's what everyone has said every time. Yeah, we want to do that, but we can't do it right now. We have a goal. We have a target. We have people who want to come and do these things. They want to enjoy it. We have the people that we're benefiting from it right now. Those are our words. As we move forward, we're looking at right now. We're looking at what's coming. We're looking at what's behind us. And we're continuing to push that envelope. Thank you very much.
Here, here.
Our next AGM will be decided at a later date, and notifications will go out in accordance with our bylaws, our articles of incorporation. And so I will call for the adjournment of this AGM at
10:46.
At 10:46. Man, we're efficient. Thank you very much for watching. For those of you who have watched all the way to the end of this, that's fantastic. Have a great day.